There's been one question since FNaF Help Wanted that we have not had an answer to. And that question is, who is the new CEO of Fazbear Entertainment? Until Security Breach, we really had nothing to go off, but Security Breach did give us some new hints as to who the CEO could be, and it also might tie into another mystery Security Breach introduced. Who is Patient 46? Well, recently we got more to go off in terms of Patient 46, so that's why in today's video we are going to talk about the mystery of the Fazbear CEO and Patient 46. I made a video on my opinion on Patient 46 a few months ago, and my opinion hasn't changed, but I still do want to go over the evidence for the theory, and why the theory still does work, and new information we've got only recently. But first of all, who can it absolutely not be? There's two very popular opinions people have that it cannot be at all. Vanny and Gregory. It makes sense at first for Patient 46 to be Vanny with the childish behavior in the tapes, but also Vanny skipping around the pizzaplex like a child. That makes sense, until you consider other parts of the tapes. First of all, Vanny and Vanessa are factually the same person. I already covered why in my video on Vanny from a couple months ago, and even if they have two separate personalities, they shouldn't have two different patient numbers. Furthermore, Patient 46 was caught on camera talking to Vanny. That's even more interesting when you consider what the therapist says to Vanessa. She tells her that the messages she's been getting are very manipulative in nature. And later on, it's also stated by the therapist that she thinks Patient 46 is the one responsible for them manipulating. Second, the childhoods. One argument against Patient 46 being a child that people have used is that the therapist said that Patient 46 had a great childhood, but that's not really a great argument. See, you guys know, or at least some of you know, I say it all the time, but for some reason people don't really get the message. But whatever, I'm 14, and I'm still a kid. I'm still a child. I need to stop talking. I'm still a child, but even though I'm a child, I could still reference my childhood. That doesn't automatically just mean I'm an adult. But the respective childhoods of Vanessa and Patient 46 are actually two different ones. Vanessa says something bad happened to her mom after her father and mom got divorced. It's made clear that this isn't really Vanessa's past, but rather the past of someone else in the Afton family. It's most likely not Michael's, in my opinion, though, but there's one child that wants to do anything to make her father proud and love her, which is told to us in the fourth closet and the ending of FNaF 6, and I am of course talking about Elizabeth Afton. Does this mean that Vanessa is Elizabeth Afton? No, I severely doubt that. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. But like I said, Patient 46 is manipulating Vanessa, probably telling her to use a past that isn't her own, a past that actually belongs to Patient 46. But when we go to Patient 46's final tape, number 16, the therapist says that Patient 46 had great parents.
Wanna guess what I found out when I looked into the tragedy of your past? All that stuff about your parents? You aren't even gonna look at me? Fine. You can look at the floor all you want. But it won't change the fact that none of what you said in your file about your parents was true. The truth is, you had great parents. A great childhood. Why did you lie?
This implies that Patient 46 told the therapist that she didn't have great parents, and if we go back to the 9th Fazbear Frights epilogue, Renelle tells Jake that her dad kicked her out of the house. This lines up with Patient 46 claiming to have bad parents, and it also lines up with that being a lie, since Renelle is actually Eleanor, a character who in many aspects acts similar to Circus Baby, not to mention the design of Eleanor is very similar to Circus Baby. Eleanor is using one girl's body, but another girl's past, the body of a random addict Jake found, and the past of a girl actually named Renelle, who was kicked out of her house when she was younger. This lines up with another piece of evidence against Vanny being Patient 46, the size. Other pieces of evidence for Patient 46 being a child do work relatively decently for Vanny, even though it means she's an absolute dumbass. But there's one piece of evidence that just doesn't make sense, really. The therapist apologizes to Patient 46 because the chair she's sitting in doesn't really fit her, because she is too small for it.
If you aren't going to talk to me, I'll just go by these notes. You just sit there and be comfy. Or not. That chair doesn't really fit you, does it?
I have yet to see literally any single valid explanation for this, but this all makes sense if Patient 46 is a child, or rather, is in the body of a child. This is all to say that in reality, Patient 46 is Circus Baby, or rather, Circus Baby's code with Elizabeth's spirit on it but attached to a new body, and I think it is going to be similar to, but not exactly like Eleanor in the Fazbear Frights books. This lines up with what we see in the Vanny boss fight of Security Breach Fury's Rage. This boss fight takes place in a room very similar to Parts and Service in Security Breach. In the background of this level, we are able to see a silhouette of something in a tank, and it looks very, very similar to Eleanor. This alone implies Eleanor, or an in-game version equivalent to Eleanor, will be involved in Security Breach and the future of the series. But not only that, the fact that Eleanor is in the Vanny section of Fury's Rage implies that Eleanor would be involved with Vanny, and that ends up with Baby being Patient 46, the one to manipulate Vanessa. Now, for why Patient 46 can't be Gregory. At first it does make some amount of sense. It's a child and their voice is hidden, implying it's someone that we know, someone we would recognize, and having them speak would ruin the surprise. This makes sense if Patient 46 is either Gregory or Baby, because there's not really anyone else who is a child that we know of. And sure, it could be a new character, and I think that would be cool. I actually do want to see more characters. I want them to add new characters in the future of the series, but why hide their voice? Well, in the subtitles for Security Breach, Patient 46 is referred to with female pronouns. All languages have male and female pronouns, obviously, but in languages other than English, the pronouns can be integrated into verbs. Basically, if you put a verb into Google Translate, it will appear showing both masculine and feminine because it doesn't know which one you're referring to. And obviously, Google Translate isn't always accurate, so I doubt they used it for the game's official translations, but it stands to reason that they did this on purpose. If this was incorrect, they wouldn't have just let this slip through. Patient 46 is female, meaning that Gregory cannot be Patient 46. So that leaves two options, either a new character or Baby. I feel it's important for me to acknowledge that I am almost certain that Eleanor in the books is not Elizabeth. But as I talked about in my You're the Band summary, the Fazbear Frights Stitch line can't be in the game timeline, contrary to what some people believe. So it does make sense if Eleanor is simply a stand-in for Baby, and showing that she will return in the future of the games as the new villain for the series. This means that Eleanor in the games might just be Elizabeth and the code of Circus Baby inside a new body. So Patient 46 is Elizabeth, but who is the Fazbear CEO? Well, while it may seem unimportant at first, it is an interesting topic because Afton and Henry are dead, so who could be running the company? Well, in Security Breach, as we all know, there are a bunch of duffel bags around the Pizzaplex containing lore and gameplay messages. In one of these messages, it is said that Vanessa wasn't right for the role of head security guard, but somehow she gets the job anyway? That doesn't make sense. But in another message, it's revealed that the request for Vanessa to be the guard came from the top of the company. This implies that maybe the CEO is someone that would be part of William's, Vanny's, or Baby's plans. They are more important than we realize. But who are they? Well, in my opinion, there's three options for who it could be. First of all, it could be Baby herself, ensuring her plan with manipulating Vanessa would be successful. Now, how could Baby have revived an entire company, you may ask? Well, it connects back to something we heard about in Out of Stock. The Emporium in Out of Stock is where Oscar gets the plush trap chaser. The Emporium had been nearly closed 3 times, but it was always bought out by a rich guy who couldn't stand to see the place closed down. It's possible that something like this also happened in the games to Fazbear Entertainment. One mystery that is still so weird is, how did Fazbear Entertainment get the money to make a pretty much infinite supply of multiple different animatronics, including skin variants, might I add, to send to hundreds, thousands, and maybe even more people, plus a massive mall? Well, it would make a lot of sense if it was someone rich who bought back the company, and maybe once Vanessa was possessed by Glitchtrap, Baby reached out to her, manipulated her, and then promptly killed the CEO of Freddy's and took his place, or her place, as the CEO of Fazbear Entertainment, and then gets Vanessa the head security guard job, and stayed as the CEO as a good vantage point to know how her plan can succeed. But another option is, what if instead someone inherited the company and money from someone who owned it before? What if the Fazbear CEO was Henry's living son, Sammy? Now, I personally think the Eleanor option is more likely and that this option is a bit wonky, but it is possible. In the novel trilogy, after Charlotte died, Henry went deeper into his work and kind of went crazy. Because of this, his wife left him and took their son Charlotte's twin Sammy with her. But he is still Henry's son. Assuming this happens in the games as well, assuming Sammy even exists in the games, it is possible he inherited Fazbear Entertainment as well as profits from it from his father after he died in FNaF 6. This would make some amount of sense, but why would Sammy be helping Vanessa get the job? Maybe to take a shit on Henry's FNaF 6 plan as revenge for not being there for him as a child or something, but that doesn't really make sense since it's his mother that took him away, not his father sending him away. It kinda makes sense in some regards, but it's a bit sketch. And the final option is that the CEO really is just a new character, someone we will be introduced to in the future of the series. Very possible, but then that begs the question of who they will be. But if it is someone new, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my theory? Who do you think Patient 46 and the Fazbear CEO are? Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I have quite a few more projects upcoming soon, so stay tuned for those. A future one that I have coming is the underrated FNaF character who is responsible for most of the story. So that'll be my next theory, and I'll see you then. Bye guys!